And then the verse that popped into my head was the one that's quoted, or was quoted so much at the time. It used to be the most popular verse to quote from the Bible. It's John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." And I'd heard it before, but I had heard it one Sunday, and I wanted to cry, because the one word that kept occurring to me was, "whosoever believes in him." And I heard other sermons after that. I started to crave, to want to come back to my father, because I realized I royally screwed up. And it was amazing, because you realize that when Jesus was alive, he healed the sick. He just went through crowds of people to heal them. He knew them, he knew their past sins, and he would know their future sins. He knew that what they would do when they left from being healed from him. They knew what they would do before they died. He knew everything, but he still forgave them. We're talking a group of liars, murderers, pedophiles, adulterers. It didn't matter. He healed and loved everyone. And when that word, whosoever, sunk into my brain, I wept, I cried, like I have not cried in years. And I cried tears of joy, and I cried myself to sleep. And the next day I woke up, and it was the greatest relief I've ever experienced. From that point on, I started to want to go back to my father. I'm like, I screwed up. I can't go back. You can't go back. It just didn't register in my mind. But he kept giving me amazing people in my life to slowly bring me back. He gave me resources I didn't think existed. Things that I never thought could happen. Because you have to remember, at that time, when the son said to the father, "Give me my inheritance," he took his cut of the family and was gone. He couldn't come back. You know, it wasn't accepted to come back into the family. It just didn't happen. But the part that I love the most is what happens when the son tries to go back. And this is exactly what has happened to me. It said that while the son was still a ways off, he ran to him. Now, it's not said, but it is implied in the text that the father was eagerly waiting for his son. You can almost picture him walking about his fields and looking off towards the horizon of the road. Because he doesn't know if his son's going to come back. He doesn't know what condition he's going to come back into, as if he is going to be alive or dead. But he waited eagerly, and he ran to him. Now, once again, it doesn't seem like much, but at the time, dignified older men do not run. They do not pick up their robes and go. That is disgraceful. But the father did not care, because he was so excited for his son to return. And then he throws a robe on him, puts the best robe on him, throws a ring on him, and puts sandals on his feet. Now that is a symbol, and this is before the son even grovels to him. He never gets to finish his little prepared speech. But the father accepts him immediately back into the family, which is unbelievable, because that means he's once again entitled to a third of what the father has. That has already been diminished by the son's actions. It is reckless love that the father shows, and it was unheard of. Everyone hearing this story would know exactly the depth of the father's love. And it has just been shown to me in my life over and over again, and I can't believe it. And that's why I'm here speaking to you, is because it's so overwhelming. I still can't believe it. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. And this is the kind of love that God has for his children. Everyone's his child. Everyone is a son or daughter of God. And no one is beyond redemption. No one. Because I thought myself the lowest of the low, and God shows me nothing but grace repeatedly. And sometimes if I think about it too much, I want to cry. Like I'm choking right now and severely dehydrated. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. And I know some people might have questions like, well, can he forgive, you know, this, or what about this weird fetish over here? It doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's the real thing. That's the real God. It doesn't matter. anything. And the other big question that people ask are, I've been told by this church or that church, I've been told that God hates furries.